Hello again, everyone, and welcome to La Soufrière today, where we answer some of your frequently asked questions. With us today, we have some other members of the team in St. Vincent. We have Dr. Mikhail Cameo-Harry, Mr. Garth Manette, and Ms. Monique Johnson, all of whom are part of the response to the La Soufrière eruption. So, Mikhail, can we start with you? Can you tell us a little bit about what you've been doing during your time in the field?
Okay, so since I've been here, we've been continuing the development of the ground deformation network. So the previous team would have installed some continuous stations to monitor changes in ground movement. So during eruptions, when magma moves or fluids or gases move beneath the surface, you would expect to see changes in the edifice. And these can be very small changes that you won't necessarily see to the eye, but there'll be small centimeter-sized changes that can be detected by sensitive instruments. So I've been doing a number of campaigns, going out into the field to deploy these instruments 1 week at a time to measure any changes in ground deformation using GPS. In addition to that, yes?
Yeah, so ground deformation is kind of like we say when the volcano is swelling, but of course you can't see that.
Yeah, you can't necessarily see it, but these sensitive instruments will pick up any changes that we would use to inform authorities if any impending changes are forthcoming. So we've installed a reflector at the southwest crater wall, and we've been partnering with the local Lands and Surveys Division to do a number of electron distance measurements. So we use a total station, which sends an electromagnetic wave to the reflector and then return to the total station and measures or computes a distance. So we measure from a certain point over time to see if we can see any changes in that distance, and that will let us know if we're having any differences or changes in the integrity of the southwest crater wall.
Can you explain what you mean by the integrity in the crater wall?
The stability of the wall. So because the dome is growing against the wall, we would expect changes to occur in the edifice. So it may become weaker, for example, which could potentially cause collapse. So we want to be able to forecast if this change is about to occur, and we will do this by monitoring these changes using the electronic distance measurement. So if we measure these changes continuously, we'll be able to spot if this distance changes over time, which will again reflect if the edifice is stable or not. And we can inform authorities how to respond or to evacuate people accordingly.
Okay. And Monique, I know that you, of course, have been managing the Volcano Ready project over the last couple of years, and now it's all sort of coming to be very, very valuable in this response. So you want to talk a little bit about the project and how it's supporting the response to the eruption?
Well, yes, so the project started at the end of 2018, and since then it's been a great opportunity for us to integrate the communities into the national emergency response mechanism. And over the last few years, we would have tested that response capacity. We would have trained persons in first responders and equipped them as well. So all of that is kind of culminating now. This week, we will actually be out in the communities again, distributing the first responder kits and putting supplies in the communities at the warehouses and whatnot. So in the event of any eventuality, we hope that persons will be better equipped to respond and evacuate. It's also given us a really good opportunity to document the stories of the last eruptions, which I think has been really useful in sharing the information and raising awareness. So many persons in the communities that we've worked in have such amazing stories to tell of 79. And I think the project offered a really, really great opportunity to document some of that and share that information with a wider audience.
And of course, you've produced a lot of rich public awareness material that has helped to kind of communicate some of the hazards and so forth. And just remind us, I know that the project is comes through the CDB, but remind us about the main supporting donors for that.
Yes, so it's being the funds are being accessed through the Community Disaster Risk Reduction Fund, which is administered by the Caribbean Development Bank. And uniquely, it's actually the only funding mechanism right now available to St. Vincent that's assisting with this response to the eruption. So we're really grateful for that support from the CDB. And also it was such a good opportunity to pull all of these actors that work in the community so actively. So from NEMO to Red Cross, Community Development Division, they have been amazing support in everything that we're doing. And we've accomplished so far. We could not have done any of this without them, seriously. So it's good to get all these actors working together in the community, and really trying to get the community organized really was the effort, and getting them to think about preparedness and plans and what they would actually do. And we had a great opportunity to test that in 2019 with trade winds, where we actually did a evacuation on the leeward and the windward side. And so, I mean, a lot of it was successful, and it would have highlighted, key challenges that we need to address. So I think that the communities are in a much better position to respond now, all things considered, any eventuality.
Yeah, and it's excellent that the timing of the project also kind of culminated with the eruption itself. And so all of those things had already been put in place. And coming back to the response, Garth, I know that of course, the electronics team here at the Seismic Center forms a very important component of our entire monitoring. Do you want to talk a little bit about how the electronics team supports the response as well, and what is your role there?
Okay, well, as you said, I'm part of the electronics team, so my roles and functions are to install and maintain all the seismic equipment for monitoring. We have a new station donated by, well, 3 new stations donated by the USGS, completely in the process of installing one at the trailhead at the Interpretation Center on the Windward Trail. We started the Windward Trail to walk to the volcano, so it should be completed by the end of this week. Basically, that would have a radio which sends the information from the sensors on site there back to Georgetown, where we would have it via internet transmitted back to Trinidad. So we have a more or less real-time response in terms of getting the information and ground vibrations and back to the Trinidad Seismic Center for processing.
Right, and I know for you all, this is obviously your first time actually being part of this response and responding to a volcanic eruption. You have any lessons that you've learned or messages or anything that you want to share with the viewers in closing? Garth, we can probably start with you.
Well, first one, always remember to walk with your proper hiking shoes, because I came with my normal safety boots with steel tips, so that wasn't too good, and it was the first time, so change out to the sneakers to help with the hiking up to the crater.
Yeah. How many times have you been up to the volcano, to the crater, since you've been there?
4 times so far. Plus a 5th one next week, well, Friday coming.
Yeah, so by the time you would have left, it would be 5 times in about 4 weeks, right?
Yes.
And what about you, Monique?
What I've learned.
Yeah, anything that you've learned, anything memorable, any kind of messages you want to leave viewers with?
Well, for me, and I think for all of us, we really appreciated the value of this team. Working together, having a good team is really important. People that you could depend on and support you through this. That made a huge difference.
And we will close with you, Mikhail.
Yeah, just to follow on from what Monique said, we all would have come with different expertise coming to do a job here. And then when we started to work together, we actually saw the value in each other's roles. So for example, Garth really supported me with his expertise on getting the instruments installed, which I would not have valued before because we never really had to interact, and now we're working together as a team. We all go out together in the field together and it all works well. So really having a supportive team who you can rely on and trust really makes the work go fast and go efficiently.
And to push you up that last stretch.
When you feel like you can't make it anymore towards the top, you just have your team there making sure that you make it up and down safely.
Literally and figuratively, right? All right, well, thanks a lot, guys, for your time, and stay safe. Thank you for all of the work that you're doing. And we just want to remind our viewers that the UWI-SRC and the NEMO are the official sources of information for the eruption on La Soufrière, and that visits to the crater are prohibited at this time. Thanks again and take care.
Bye, Stacey.
Bye.